Then and now, we got the crown when we rock the town. Hot sound keep us breaking ground while we chillin' lounge. 3 generations, black nerd soldiers, podcast snipers trying to pop culture. Allegedly, haters try to talk, but a pedigree in rare form.
Hello, everybody.
You're listening to the Then and Now podcast.
Welcome back. I'm your co-host, Kathleen Diesel, and I'm joined with the other co-host, Professor E. King of the Comics, Ethan Murphy, and the Big Blurred Muffin, a.k.a. Kratos of Gaming, a.k.a. Lelouch V. How are you doing, my brethren?
Good, man. I'm good.
Still trying to understand the purpose behind some of these nicknames. But
I called you the Big Blurred Muffin this time, not the Big Black Muffin. Makes you feel any better.
Blurred Muffin, that was clean. Also, Kratos of Gaming. I don't care who you are, what you are. That's a tag with having Kratos of Gaming. Yes, sir.
I gotta earn the tag though. I didn't do anything to really make that a famous thing, so I can't.
Okay, we just need to go through the Facebook, the last 10 things you posted in the groups.
Yeah, but there was a reason that came up on here that name was dropped on here from. I can't remember what it was now. I have to go back.
We were covering something with God of War. I don't remember what it was.
It may have been, but yeah.
Side note, slide into the frame a little bit to your left a little bit. You're kind of off a little bit. There you go. Yeah, y'all. It's gonna be a great show. We have some fun stuff. You know, it's been a good little bit since I've got to talk about one of my favorite things of all time, being the Star Wars franchise. So today we get to deep dive into some big news and where the possible future is for Star Wars and kind of where it's been, because we all have, I'd say, similar thoughts on where it's been. I think there's some things here and there that each of us have different aspects of it that we enjoyed. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of what we can talk about. And that first thing being leadership change. For anyone that is out of the loop, Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Studios have announced there's going to be a leadership transition. As of, I think, 7 days ago, or somewhere around there, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down from Lucasfilm leadership, and she's going back to being a producer, essentially, for Lucasfilm and Star Wars. And Dave Filoni and Mrs. Lewin, I'm probably butchering your name, Brennan, they're co-presidents of Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Studios now. It seems like Dave Filoni is going to be leading in more of a creative role, like a chief creative officer, and Miss Brennan is going to be doing more of the financial aspect of things, kind of managing the business stuff. Yes. To get into the article a little bit, I'm not going to read too much of it, but Lucasfilm announced today that after 14 years of leading the studio, President Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her major role, and Kennedy will return to full-time producing, including the studio's upcoming feature films, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and Star Wars Fighter, which were films that were produced or created under her leadership as well. Dave Filoni, who worked closely with creator George Lucas to build the Lucasfilm animation department on Star Wars: The Clone Wars and helped launch Star Wars live action series alongside Jon Favreau with The Mandalorian, will take on creative leadership of the company as president and chief creative officer with Lynn Brennan, and they will both serve as co-presidents. Their close collaboration and more than 30 years of combined senior executive experience will carry Lucasfilm into its next chapter of storytelling with a strong foundation of creative vision and operational leadership, guiding the studio forward. Y'all, this is big news. This is I think for a long time on the pod specifically, I've kind of talked about the idea of Favreau and Filoni being in charge of Star Wars stuff going forward. And that's something I was begging for and pleading for, based off of more so a lot of the popular things that were coming out around Star Wars at that time were the stuff that they worked on, whether it be the Clone Wars stuff or the Mandalorian popping off, and some of the spinoffs from each one of those things being like the Bad Batch, being the Tales from the Jedi or Tales from the Sith, things of that nature. I think he's a big fan of Star Wars, and obviously has a lot of work with George Lucas directly to develop a lot of women characters who are also some of the one being my favorite character in Star Wars, and two just being some of the more well-known, best-written characters in Ventress and Ahsoka, et cetera, et cetera. Before we get into any of the details, what are your immediate thoughts, reactions to this regime change?
I mean, it's the direction that they've clearly needed, because the things that people actually cared about were spearheaded by Filoni. I mean, there's been a lot of disappointment within the Star Wars content space since they've been acquired by Disney, and knowing that there's a individual person that, well, I shouldn't say individual because it's a collective thing. This is a lot of people that go into the production of a film, but this is who was overseeing that process and gave us this disjointed, just super unfamiliar feeling version of Star Wars that we've seen versus like the actual cohesive side of what Filoni has done in connecting the animated series to the actual series to now eventually movies, which we'll see with Mandalorian and Grogu. So like that side has always been at least cohesive. Whether you love the quality, hate the quality, it's all in line as familiar characters. Like there's a escalation of like the world there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they aren't touching is blah, to say the least. I just be putting it nicely. So giving control to the person that's actually been making things that people like, it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Proceed.
I agree. I mean, the thing is too, you mentioned how it was you wanted Filoni and Favreau to take over as presidents or kind of be in charge of the company for Lucasfilm because you feel like they were doing really good work when it came to everything. Of course, like you said, Tales of Jedi or the Clone Wars, things of that nature, and they're doing great. Mandalorian season 1 and 2, great. Season 3, the first 2, great. But the thing about it is, ultimately, too, the buck does stop somewhere. So Kathleen Kennedy was at the time the head of Lucasfilm, and the actual fan base became very, very disjointed. Like you said, disjointed and toxic in response to a lot of the big films, as far as the big choices that are being done. So somebody has to be held accountable for it. It's funny also in the Variety report, you read actual comments. She said there was a question over there where she was directly asked as far as the highs and lows of the job. And she mentioned the highs were, of course, having good response from the fan base and all that kind of fun stuff. And she said the lows were the very, very small minority that had basically, she was saying they were delusional about what they wanted. They couldn't get exactly what they wanted to see, type of stuff. And again, that's not so much a minority as it is the fan base has been overwhelmingly fractured recently because of a lot of the things that have happened with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. So hopefully this will they'll bring some fans back. Hopefully this new direction they'll take will actually make people happy again. They dropped that mall trailer a couple of days ago. Looks dope as I don't know what. Obviously, Filoni's involved with that. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm hopeful, but you never know. Also, shout out to Indiana Jones 5, which is also under Kathleen Kennedy because that's part of Lucasfilm.
You don't gotta shut that out.
That bothered me in ways I can't even begin to describe. That was I do like Star Wars. Star Wars is great, but I love Indiana Jones. I became a writer partially because of Indiana Jones, and that abomination made me mad. So
I spent money to go see that.
You can watch it for free at home. Please don't pay any money for that. Any money for that.
God.
Those trailers gave me Matrix 4 vibes, and
it was exactly that. Actually, it was exactly Matrix 4. It's what it was. I literally fell. I don't fall asleep often. I fell asleep like at the end segment when I thought this shit was over with, and it kept going.
Yeah, it kept going. Yeah,
I will say, because I think there is very much so a lot of fault in Kathleen Kennedy's direction in regards to some of the decisions of projects that she greenlit. I think some of the news is kind of skewed based off of, misreporting and whatnot. I think one thing I heard was looking at the most recent show, or one of the most recent shows being The Acolyte, and how that was initially pitched as an Assassin's Interest solo series, but was then changed due to the fact that she's a twin and she liked the idea of twin. So again, I don't know how accurate that report is, but I've heard little things like that. And she just kind of made a lot of personal decisions based off of what her personal experience was as far as what got greenlit and what shows and movies went along. Yeah. Now, I will say there is some things that came out during this whole journey that she had that I think were solid. I think Rogue One, I think we all enjoyed Rogue One to an extent. And then some of the animated stuff, which again, you can kind of attribute most of that to Filoni, obviously, because he was directly a part of creating this stuff. But like when you're looking at The Mandalorian, obviously, when you're looking at the Ahsoka show, when you're looking at the Skeleton Crew, most of the animated stuff as well. I don't know how y'all felt about the Obi-Wan show. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it or hate it. I thought it had its moments.
Yeah, it had good moments.
It had moments, but it wasn't like overwhelming. Like, yeah, this is great. This is positive. We're glad we saw it. It's kind of like
super mid.
Yeah. But then obviously, like all the animated stuff. So Star Wars Rebels, the Clone Wars, the last season of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, Visions. So Visions, if I don't remember, was like the anime stylistic thing here. So she had some solid stuff. But again, I thought some of the stuff was kind of like a dunk. You kind of Favreau and Filoni want to do something, you kind of just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was backing up what you're saying. Most of those wins were Filoni or Favreau. The biggest movies that were successful, because Episode 7 was a massive $2 billion, all kinds of great movie, all kinds of money. Yes, big movie. Then the Rogue One came out right afterwards, major hit. Then Episode 8, and that was the beginning of like the fan base going east and west.
I think the only win she has movie wise is probably Rogue One, and I'd argue The Force Awakens wasn't the dumpster fire that a lot of people try to remember the entire thing. I remember Force Awakens being okay and people being excited for what's going to come.
When it came out, people were more for it.
Yeah. After that, though, shit went downhill.
Yeah.
But I will also give her some grace in understanding this fandom in the way that I do, and understanding that a lot of the Star Wars fandom is a lot of older millennial white men who have very much so conservative perspectives and how they want certain things to go. They don't want women. That's honestly part of what I wanted to bring up, because I was doing some research and kind of I was curious to see like what the perception was from the Chud side of things and how they saw Filoni. And funny enough, a lot of them aren't really 100% pleased with this, for the factor of Filoni is seen as like a male feminist, and like he was really big about pushing women characters, and they kind of question his decision making on that, which I thought was really funny. So it's kind of mixed in regards to how they see things. And that is the main thing of why I like try to give her some grace. I understand that Kathleen Kennedy has to deal with a fan base of like men who are off rip. One, they don't want any women representation. They don't want anybody to be gay. They don't want black people to be centered in front of and stuff for the most part. And anything that centered one of those three things we already saw was extremely hated or hate watched, between the Acolyte, between looking at all the negative reviews from. Granted, the second two movies had their own issues, but a lot of the biggest stuff online you saw in regards to The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi was like Rose being a big thing, right? The fact that there's a trans actor playing a love interest for a character, and the fact that Finn in general was a big part of it as a whole, being a black person. And the way they went about minimizing him. Rose, the Asian woman that was working with I'm pretty sure. If I remember, I know the character's trans, but I'm pretty sure like the actor herself is trans. I mean, you double check.
I double check because I don't want to put that out there if she's not actually trans. I'm pretty sure Kelly Marie Tran is that. I think her last name is Tran. She's not trans. Double check that real quick. You can keep going, bud.
Yeah, is this make her on?
Yeah, so
she's non-binary.
Her name is Kelly Marie Tran, but she is a woman-born female.
Am I tripping? Hold on, let me double check.
I believe she identifies as, and she's the LGBTQ plus community. If that's what you're referring to.
I'm trying to remember. I remember that being like a whole fucking thing. Or at bare minimum, she's part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and that's an issue. And the outrage for that was so big that they literally minimized her role in the third film after setting up in the second, to the point where she had less lines than the dead woman that they brought in.
So part of it
the dead people in.
Yeah, part of it, I think, that movie. If we get to episode 8, the episode 8 as a whole, we'll be here for another 7 hours. One thing is, people just didn't like the character for all kinds of reasons, and didn't like that movie. And she was done dirty as far as she was put in like literally in episode 9, as Finn is walking by, he pats her on the shoulders like goodbye. That's it. It's a very, I don't think she has even a line in that movie. So she's done dirty. She's done very dirty. But I think the main outrage for that in particular was, from what I heard, was people just didn't like her character in the movie. And if it's because she's I didn't even know she was LGBTQ+.
She's queer. Yeah, she's queer.
I didn't even know that, because in the movie she's not. She's very much into Finn. People were upset
that was a major. I remember that was a major thing. That was a major outrage that I remember hearing on the internet as far as that goes.
Oh, okay.
Again, when it comes to a lot of the issues that people had with it, again, there's one side of like very rational people that had issues with the writing. And then on the other side, you had all the chuds who had issues with the black people and the queer women and the women being centered of it. Because as a whole, off top, they were already kind of weird on Rey as a whole, because she wasn't this overly sexualized character as a whole. But I think that's the difficulty she had of like the movie already had its own issues already, and then you had like both sides of the fence hating you for different reasons on it. And I think that's probably some of the stuff that she talked about in regards to like pleasing a minority fan base in regards to what they want, because for a lot of the time people don't understand what they want. Yeah. If we're keeping it a buck as a writer, that's something I've just noticed. But yeah, that's with Star Wars. If you're going to be heading up Star Wars, you're going to have a difficult time because you're going to have to make sure that you have to hit the ball with one side of the fan base and completely alienate the other, because you're not going to be able to please both fans.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing she did mention. Wait, Otis, I'm sorry.
So I was saying, I was just agreeing, and honestly, you don't want to. I mean, they're literally opposing views almost. Like, if you are accepting of, like, the diversity in recent Star Wars, then obviously you're not going to be a person that wants like a male-dominated Star Wars scene,
right?
And that's male-dominated in both, like, the number of characters and also like in the messaging and like the mentality of the character and the verse. I mean, that's just inherent.
Another random thing that came to my mind was them making fun of I'm blanking on his name, the lead actor from he was in Squid Games, lead actor from that was in Star Wars, an Acolyte.
That was an Acolyte.
Yeah, there was like a whole thing about his accent being a thing. Like, they were, again, anything racist they could get off about that show, they were getting that shit off. Even though Buddy like learned English for that role.
He learned English just for
as mixed of a bag as Acolyte was. I'm taking that over the I guess these
the Boba Fett series,
the sequels, the
subsequent
movies.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, so I've seen Acolyte. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I stand where I regardless of race and sexual preference, that kind of stuff, the movies, a lot of the things have had problems. And it's not even, look at Solo, for example. Solo is a movie that's dominated by a white male character, white male actor. And that movie tanked. That movie is by far it actually literally lost money for the studio the most as far as the Star Wars film. And even in her interview, Kathleen admitted that was the one misstep she more or less had, was that movie. And so even if you're going with the whole trying to appease the dominant male white audience, that one still failed. It was still a mess. And that was directly because remember at the time they had the same people who worked the guys who worked on, I forgot the names. Gosh, wow, it's terrible. But they worked on the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And Across the Spider-Verse, that team, they were, I forgot, I'm going to look them up. I forgot, they were originally assigned to that movie, and they were working on the movie. They shot like half the movie or something like that. Then they got fired off that movie, and they brought in Ron Howard. And they went very basic with it. They went very basic with the story. And that was her direct decision to fire those two dudes. Or Miller and something, whatever. But so it's a problem. So those kind of things, we have to, yes, there may be issues with race and sexual preference, all kind of stuff. Of course, all those that basic bullshit will always be there. Right. But you need to also have good stories. You need to actually make sure you make good movies too. Rogue One is led by Felicity Jones or Felicity. Yeah, so it's a movie that's made. It's led by a woman, and it made lots of money. It's actually a good movie. It also has lots of the cast is predominantly minorities. Asians and stuff like that too, so it has still made money. So people will show up if you make a good product. People always complain because they want to, but you still have to put effort into what you're making.
So let's lean. So we'll ignore a lot of the Chud stuff because we understand that shit's really nonsensical. Let's lean into more of the we'll say the objective issues that Star Wars had, because I think a lot of the other bullshit is what it is. You're not going to appease those fans, and you shouldn't appease those fans. To Otis's point. When looking at the direction that this franchise has taken since 2012 when it was acquired, I think a lot of it is not knowing where they wanted to go. It's this weird bag of trying to play onto nostalgia while also trying to move forward, but not really move forward. Obviously, the nostalgia you see, obviously, when you're looking at shows like the Book of Boba Fett, the Obi-Wan show, like you're bringing back direct characters and actors that people were fans of from the prequel films, as well as some of the stuff from the original trilogy. And then I think it shows itself the most when you're looking at the new prequels, but the new trilogy, right? Where it seems as though in the first film, the big point they're trying to drive home is the aspect of Rey not belonging to any significant bloodline, any race. Like, she is amazing because she's amazing. And then you cut to the last film, and now she is a part of the most infamous bloodline in Star Wars, period, being a Palpatine, and now we just kind of backtracked as a whole. And I think that inherently describes this entire decade plus of how they went about Star Wars, of trying to just appease one. I think they tried to jump back and forth of appeasing to new fans, because I do think that is another thing to discuss in regards to the fandom of the fact there's a entire new generation of Star Wars fans that love a lot of different things. And I think the key example of that is looking at how Hayden Christensen was looked at, because obviously a lot of the older fans damn near bullied this man into retiring from acting as a whole. And then like almost a decade later, you have all these new people that are watching the prequels that are saying, oh my God, we love him. And as soon as he gets announced to come back, he's getting all this overwhelming love, and people are loving him so much where he comes back and he's just loving being Vader and being Anakin again. So I do think there is hope there in regards to like a lot of the people that are genuinely good people overwhelm a lot of the people on the other side of things. But I think going forward, when we're looking at a lot of the things that have seemingly been announced, and I think you can kind of look at some of the games as well as to kind of be like a marker where they want to go. Because obviously they announced through a snippet of a cinematic trailer at the Game Awards, the High Republic era game that they're working on doing at some point soon. And then we also know that in the Fallen Order or the Last Jedi games with Cal Kestis, those games are also they're finishing up a lot of the original trilogy stuff, but it's looking like they're looking back at a lot of the High Republic era as well as the Acolyte kind of taking place seemingly around the High Republic era. So it seems like the new direction that they want to go is the High Republic, but at the same time, I still know there was the Rey sequel film that was announced like 2 years ago that's been going in and out of different writers coming in and out. So I don't know if they're going to cancel that officially, or if that's something they still want to push out with her being pregnant.
Burn it.
I'm hoping so, because as of now, Filoni hasn't announced any kind of like calendar or any kind of plan for what he wants to do with everything going forward. But I think the main thing to look at as far as what he's over is to look at the game and looking at the animated series, since those seem like the two things that he's going to look at and care about the most in regards to him being a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, but you brought a good point there as far as Otis just said, burn it. That was one thing Kathleen did too. If you remember, when they acquired Lucasfilm, all the extended universe stuff, as far as in the books and in games and like that, they considered, quote unquote, it was no longer canon. It was I forgot the word they used for it to describe that, all those different things,
which
is
disgusting. Bring all that back. What? It's better than all of the movies.
You know what's disgusting about it is that they did all that and then proceeded to steal that for the plot of the new movie sequels. Because legit, the entire story from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker is literally just like the expanded lore books of the Han Solo's two kids.
Yeah,
because essentially
Rey made them whatever you want to call.
Yeah,
they were.
Because they're literally essentially. That's why I thought it was so grossed out by like Rey and Kylo having a relationship. Because I'm like, I know who you're basing these characters off of, and those characters are siblings. So why are we doing this when you already set up a love thing with Rey?
That's such a mess. Because again, I know both of y'all were aware of the original script written for Episode 9. And how it was supposed to be very, very different.
Did it get leaked? That the whole script got leaked before the movie came out too?
Now I don't know if it was before the movie came out. I know it got leaked. It may have been before the movie came out, but I know it was. It is a very, very different thing, which actually kind of acknowledged the first two movies as a natural progression of things as far as what was happening. It made a lot more sense. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect, but at least it made narrative sense. Mm-hmm. And for them like you said, for them to bastardize everything, go completely try to walk everything back, it's like, oof, what a massive, massive failure all around. So
then there's also a little bit of the questionable decisions they made in making those films by using the CGI to bring dead people back to life on screen. With Carrie Fisher and then with Tarkin as well. Yeah. Because I'm like, I feel like you could have just wrote them out of that and just not involve them. Or at bare minimum, if you wanted to do what they've been doing with fucking Vader for years and just doing the voice of this James Earl, I'm more okay with a voice than you literally like CGIing somebody's face into a fuck. I don't know. It just felt kind of cold and weird. So this is a mixed bag of different issues that they had within this last era. But I do have a lot of hope for where this thing's going to go, because my main thing that I always talked about on the show is that I want to see them move towards a direction of Star Wars that hasn't really been touched on much. Yeah. We've seen stuff from the Old Republic and the High Republic through video games, and to a small extent through some of the animated series, but not enough to really warrant what I really would want from them. Because I do think I want to move far, 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 far fucking away from anything to do with the Skywalkers and the Skywalker family. Just again, I understand you can still have some form of nostalgia there. With you could play around with like the order. That's what I thought they were doing with the Mandalorian as well. When they were going back to look at like the core of who the Mandalorians were, and maybe getting back to the Mandalorian Jedi War. That'd be a cool place to start with. And that way, that leads you into Riven and all kinds of other Sith Lords you can play around with. Again, they have a lot of leeway and a lot of possible things they can do now. And I think they have the right person in charge to get that job done. And I have a lot of faith in him that will have a very diverse and expansive universe as well, where you're involving people of color, people that women, and especially women, because we know that apparently he's a male feminist, but he does do very well at platforming and creating women that are really well-written characters in Star Wars. When I'm looking at Ventress and Ahsoka and some of the other characters, like I'm blanking on the pilot's name from Rebels. My God, what was
with the green hair.
The Twi'lek.
Not hair,
woman.
green. I forgot her name.
Her name will come back to me. It'll come back to me in a bit. But
the ghost.
Yeah, then also fucking Sabine. Oh my God. So again, the list goes on and on of these cast of characters that he creates that are just amazing. And then also does a good job of expanding upon characters who are already around, because Maul had a whole fucking reawakening with the Clone Wars. Because initially when he was first introduced, he was kind of a flat character, literally didn't speak much, if at all. And then he gets into the Clone Wars and he is like this new fucking person brought to life by Filoni, Favreau, and Sam Witwer. And now to see him in his own show again, because we've already seen it to an extent with like the season of the Clone Wars, he was brought back and how he was kind of moving around in the shadows with the Hutts and whatnot and the Trade Federation. But now we're getting into, I think, the Black Suns was the name of his gang that he created, something of the sort. It's dope. I mean, I'm excited to see what we see with characters like him, and I know Ventress we get to see a lot of in the Tales from the Sith as well. I'm excited. I do think we got to get. You're kind of in the same lens of where James Gunn was when he first took over DC, to where there's some movies that are already made or already coming out that you kind of just have to get out there to recoup money before you can start clean. With him, it was the Flash movie. With this one, it seems like it's going to be the fucking Star Wars pilot film that nobody asked for. So we'll.
Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling's in it. That's right. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I hope it's okay. I'm not watching this shit.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it. Again, the only aspects of this universe that I really give a fuck about have anything to do with the Sith, the Jedi, or the Mandalorians. Anything besides that, you have to really sell me on, because that was part of the reason why I didn't love what was the spy show that we got, Andor. I can acknowledge it was a solid show, but I just
like the highest rated one.
Space politics do not do it for me. A lot of that espionage shit for me, unless you're involving one of those people. For me, that's just a personal thing for me. I understand there are part of the fans of the Star Wars universe that love that kind of stuff, and as long from what I heard, it was good. So if y'all liked it, I love it. Fuck it. Y'all liked it, I love it. It just wasn't for me. But I think a lot of people feel the same with some of the animated stuff, because I was a big fan of the Skeleton Crew, the Bad Batch, obviously the Clone Wars stuff as well, and then all the anthology series between Tales from the Jedi, Tales from the Sith, and all that good stuff. But
I mean, there's something for everybody, you know. And I think what you hit the nail on the head as far as, in a way, comparing it to James Gunn, because James Gunn also Kevin Feige with Marvel, they are actually fans of the actual universes they get to play in. And I don't mean trying to throw any shade at Kathleen, but she very much was more of a business woman, it seems like, as opposed to a fan of the actual lore, the worlds, or the stories or IPs. And she's been around forever. She's been around since the early 80s, making stuff with the Spielberg and everything else. She knows what she's doing as far as being a business woman, but as far as being an actual fan of the actual stories, that was never.
And again, I think that showed a lot in the shows that were decided to be greenlit. Because I look at this and I look at where the Marvel and DC comics are at right now, and where I'm looking at the fact that you can tell that accountants are making decisions on what gets greenlit based off of what they project numbers to be based off of the return. 100%. Because when I'm looking at the fact that Boba Fett got a show before Ahsoka got a show, because maybe she didn't perceive Ahsoka being worthy of her own show at that point in time before Filoni came over to it. When I'm looking at the fact that we have an Obi-Wan show that was like a snippet of some shit we've already seen. Like it seems like she's just going, okay, who are the fan favorite characters? Who will people go pay money or subscribe to see? Yeah. Cool. Characters with big names that people love, we'll get them. And then we'll also get their original actors in Juan McGregor to come back and play the role and get people to watch it. Versus you looking at future stuff that aren't connected to that time period. When I'm looking at the Ahsoka show, when I'm looking at the Mandalorian, these shows that, yes, are tangentially connected to some of the older characters like a Boba Fett or Anakin, but are not a part of that bloodline or that long lineage of stuff. They have their own stories to go on. The stuff that I think will push Star Wars into the next era. Those are the things that she kind of minimized for the most part. And then again, the fact we have an entire movie that is like what movie 9 or 8 that is called The Rise of Skywalker. My nigga, fries. Put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just at this point, get as far away from the sequels as possible. So I mean, I do agree with going with the High Republic, get that out of people's minds, keep building stuff with the Mandalorian and like stuff along that line to see like what the world looks like post Vader, but pre sequels. Honestly, I would retcon those personally.
Yeah. Well, that's a dope thing with the High. If you go in the High Republic era, this is like 200, 300, 400 years before any of that happens.
Yeah,
so you don't even have to allude to
Mando.
it.
You can't like stop running Mandalorian because that's like been the flagship like series that like really has been pushing the.
Where did they even go with this shit? That's another thing I have an issue with that shit. It's like I feel like the Mandalorian and Grogu shtick is getting kind of old. Because we understand that Grogu is only going to be an adult in like another couple hundred years after Din Djarin is long dead. And I'm like, okay, we've already been through this massive Din Djarin arc. What else do we have to tell for him as a story? Because we've been through the arc from him being lonely to him finding his people to him like being officially Mandalorian now. So that I'm like, okay, what more is there to tell with this character? And then how does the character change? Because for the most part, he's been this relatively flat. I don't think there's an issue with him being a flat character, but he's a flat character. Regards to how he expresses himself. And again, that bit only lasts so long and we can't really do too much to change it because I think for a major point in time, the push and how that show and how that IP changes is based off of Grogu. And he just can't change because he doesn't age at the rate of a normal person.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario because you have one person, like you said, you never see his face. He's going to be much more of a stoic character, almost like a space cowboy type of character. And then you have Grogu as a baby who can't talk at all. And you can tell the show was supposed to end at the end of season 2. Once he finished his job as far as delivering Grogu to somebody that could take care of Luke Skywalker, that was supposed to be the end. And they made the season 3, and season 3 is just hard to watch. It's like, what is going on here? This is a mess. And they have a movie coming out. I'm not sure how it's going to be, but it's like this probably should end. This probably and that was obviously that's Favreau that's involved with that. So that's on that.
Even with as bad as season 3 was, I'm cool with it for what it set up. Okay, cool. We finished up Din Djarin's arc. He's officially back with his people. Grogu is a Jedi Mandalorian, something we haven't seen since the old High Republic era, where you looked at fucking Revan taking helmets and shit like that, or the people that I can't remember the name of the actual Jedi, but the person who made the Dark Blade as a whole, like the first Mandalorian Jedi. We've come full circle now with that. That is where I would take this thing and jump like 200 years in the future where Grogu is like at least like a teen or an adult. And now we can have his story go forward as him being a fucking Mandalorian Jedi.
He can talk and do something. Yeah.
Right. But now because we're focusing on the High Republic era, I think damn near, I ain't gonna lie, I'm damn near forgetting a lot of it. Like put the movie out, but just like forget this shit for now until you go back to that point in time. Because the High Republic era is so perfect because you can do and address a lot of the lore stuff that you never saw and introduce new things. But also it's a time period that's not too far away from everything where certain older fan favorite characters like a Yoda or like a fucking Plagueis are going to be able to be around at that point because they're that old. So they can, like Yoda is pretty young. I don't even think he's like young. He's pretty much like maybe like mid-20s, maybe early 30s, if you had to like attest his lifespan to a regular person's lifespan in regards to that point in time. And I think maybe his master Yaddle is also around. So there's fan favorite characters you can still play around with and also experience new things in that era. Again, it's right there. It's easy as day. It's not hard to at least choose the setting and the characters you want to use. Just write the damn thing, get the right writers, the right filmmakers, and get this shit done, in my mind.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, part of me agrees with you. I think, like, getting to see, both sides, like a future Star Wars with an older Grogu and seeing what the universe looks like on that end would be interesting. I do think there's still more pieces of the story you can tell about the Mandalorian history with Mando. You just have to actually, like, write it. Like, this third season didn't feel like it was even about him. It was more about what was her name?
Oh, it's about the princess.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I was going to come back to. I'm gonna look it up in a second. Hold on, because I'm blanking on names. I'm like a fake fan.
Which princess? What is
the redhead? The Princess of Mandalore. Her sister was the one that got murdered.
Yeah. What was her name?
Yeah,
I'm
like
looking up.
maybe you
Yeah,
write
the one that,
something where like
yeah,
uh,
because Katie Sackhoff played her in this show. I can't remember.
he's
Character's
going
name.
on a quest to find out like
Bo-Katan,
more.
my bad.
Bo-Katan, yeah. So maybe you write it it's like Mando is going on a quest to find out more of the history of the Mandalore, and like that leads us down the pathway to finding like characters for a series actually on the war between the Jedi and the Mandalore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's tough though, because you'd have to jump forward and like build out this new lore, because we've already established that like they're so far removed from what Mandalore used to be. Um, versus again, if you go to the High Republic era, Mandalorian still exists at that point, so you can just jump. In my mind, the perfect jumping on point for this new High Republic era is either the start, the build up to. Let's say you want to do it like you did with the Clone Wars, right? Where you have the first movie introduce everything, the second movie start the Mandalorian Jedi War, and then the third be like the resolution, and then you can kind of go forward as far as maybe doing Revan or whatever it may be. Because you could honestly, again, because a lot of fans have asked for, you could make Revan the main protagonist for that new trilogy, because you can follow his path from being Jedi to Sith to fucking in between, whatever it is. You can play around with that. And it's already been done. It's already been written, so you could take, because we know they love to do this shit. You can steal the plot from the Old Republic game that they use and kind of alter what you need and change around what you need to make the story work. And then you get to experience all that same Mandalorian stuff. But I'm not mad at your point either. Your perspective. I guess maybe the next movie could be 200 years into the future of Grogu leading the Mandalorians into a new order or a new way where he's growing them again. Kind of similar to what Luke was trying to do with the Jedi Order at the beginning of the new trilogy. But it's tough, because at that point you have to do a lot of, it'd be good, but you have to do a lot of character work to identify who Grogu is, because maybe it's just me, but I can't really give you too much information on who Grogu is as a character right now. He seems very reactive to the world versus him having his own motivations, his own wanting, because most of his want kind of revolves around wanting to be with Din Djarin and then giggling at shit. Yeah, food. Like, there's not really much about him that we know, because he's a fucking child right now.
Yeah, obviously
he's an infant.
Much more of a product than an actual
character. Right. He's a literal product. Literally, it felt like he was literally just created to sell fucking toys, and they're like, oh shit, we actually have to write for him now. Oh shit, he's a character.
Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah. But yeah, that's the Star Wars news. Hell, I haven't gotten to talk about. We haven't got to talk about Star Wars for a while on the pod, so it felt good to get into that stuff again.
Let it out.
But yeah, y'all let us know in the comment section below if y'all have any thoughts or predictions for where they will go. Is there anywhere you want to go? I think the last thing I'll ask before we jump into the last topic of the show, in this next phase, if you had a movie or a show or whatever you wanted to be, what is your dream IP or project in the Star Wars universe that you would create with a character, whatever it may be?
Ooh.
It could be whatever director, whatever actor, whatever writer, whatever you wanted to be. Genre.
So for me, y'all know I love Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's probably my favorite character in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be, because I think they have shown a lot, some of it in the comics. I know they have done that, but they pretty much show kind of his story or his rise to power and see some things he's done. Essentially, I know you're not a fan of politics, but it wouldn't be necessarily just for the politics. He actually has done as far. You actually see you would see war from his eyes. And also his race, how his race got pretty much eliminated and everything. So it'd be a very compelling, interesting story seeing his world. And I would probably, if I had to go with director, I want to go maybe have someone like David Fincher or something like that. Make a kind of a darker, fun story. Maybe even Nolan, possibly. I don't know.
Nolan, that'd be good for Nolan. That sounds like a fucking Nolan movie. If you just adapt the Admiral Thrawn novels that they already have written and just put him on that, and you fucking cast, I don't know, fucking Cillian Murphy as fucking Admiral Thrawn.
Sure.
Oh man, that'd be fun.
That'd be. I watch that right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely, because I mean, Thrawn is one of the more intricate villains that they've tried to build within the Star Wars mythos, being like completely non-Jedi, non-combatant almost, but still being able to actually contend against like Jedi and Jedi level people. Like, he's thwarted all of our favorite characters like that are alive in that time span several times over, and even like isn't fully defeated by the end of Rebels. So I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
okay, what mine honestly isn't possible anymore because of unfortunately the passing of James Earl Jones. But like, I would love to
Hmm.
see a Vader horror movie where you're seeing him hunting down like the remnants of the Jedi across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an audio book that funny enough Ryan put me onto. That's kind of looking at like Vader is taking place like right after the fall of the Galactic Republic and the rise of the Empire, and is looking at him returning to Mustafar and him finding some like secret Sith power that Palpatine sent him to go. It was dope. And I would love to see that be a movie where it's like, to your point, showing all that stuff, and it's also showing the relation because it was low-key kind of funny because he's speaking to Palpatine. And he's like, "Hey, bro, you promised me to show me that power, right? To bring my wife back." He's like, "Nigga, what? You want me to show you? You want me to show you what? I promised you what? Nigga, you ain't ready for that shit." So he's just like, it was funny as fuck how it played out. But
Sounds like a certain orange person with these tariff checks.
quite literally,
Yeah, exactly.
that'd be dope though. You have like a director in mind, I guess. We already know James Earl Jones can't really do it as an actor, but
Yeah,
you like a director or writer in mind.
Director, writer, I don't know. Because I would want it to be
Say it.
pretty
You say it?
vicious, honestly. I mean,
Oh.
no, I mean, I'm trying to think outside the box here.
If you want to be vicious, you can get like fucking. You talking like Sam Raimi gore level of stuff?
No, that's too goofy.
I can't stand Raimi. Honestly,
Yeah, I know, that's why I said
it. I would probably go. I can't remember his name, but it's the director from The Raid. He also did a movie more recently on Netflix with Tom Hardy.
Oh, you mean the American Ring or the original one?
Raid.
The Raid.
Oh, the Raid.
Yeah.
Oh, you about Gavin? Gavin. What's his name?
Gareth Evans.
Gareth Evans.
Yeah. So I'll probably go there, but like, the way I would frame it is like I would like have a bunch of different characters, like maybe a Jedi or two that are in hiding, like some people that assisted the Jedi Order that he's just going down, like just bounty hunting himself, like like, oh, I've sent people after you, they didn't get you, it's time to come down and do it myself, kind of akin to like what we were seeing during Force Unleashed, just him popping up on people, take like show some of their lives and just like just escalate it, like have things getting worse and worse for them, getting more tense until Vader just shows up and you just hear him breathing. He doesn't even have to say anything; you just hear the breath.
You could do that. Go for Predator movie. Basically, yeah. If you go Predator, who did the last Predator movie? Charlie, the guy. He did Predator,
Badlands,
and Prey, which are two great movies.
Which are really solid.
Yeah, get him to do it, right? Even Fede Alvarez or what have you. But
Dan Trachtenberg.
Yes, Dan Trachtenberg. Get him on board for that. Or even if you went old school and said, let's just adapt The Force Unleashed, the first game, into a movie.
Honestly, I think it's possible. I mean, granted, Sam Witwer's a little bit older now, but
yeah,
if you jump forward maybe a little bit earlier, like later in time, I could see him still doing that. I think he'd be down for that as well.
I mean, it's going to be Sam. You can find something else.
I'd definitely salivate over a Force Unleashed movie. I mean,
because I've heard the rumors around him supposedly making an appearance in the new Ahsoka season. A lot of the rumors have either been him, maybe Cal Kestis making an appearance, but somebody big making an appearance because it's going to push stuff forward into the direction they're trying to go for the future. And obviously both of them look mocap.
Yes, because
he's voicing Maul right now.
Yeah, I think I think he was Maul in the Solo movie, I believe. That was him.
He was.
So he's made appearance. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be.
What if it is Maul that shows up in Ahsoka?
I'd be down for that. Well, no, he can't because he's dead at that point.
Is he?
Obi-Wan killed him.
Oh yeah, because Obi-Wan hacked him up, and then that's right. Yeah,
because he finally died at the end of Rebels when he went to go see old Obi-Wan on Tatooine.
He got
so he's dead.
It's like two moves. It's a two moves.
I mean, at that point, because Obi-Wan made sure that nigga was dead that time. Never mind.
No,
I could be like, because at this point he just survived off of pure hate after getting cut in half. But no, at this point Obi-Wan made sure that nigga was dead.
Down a silo.
Yeah. That was.
Yeah, Obi-Wan
We
made
were
sure he
talking
was
about
dead that
revenge tour. I
time.
mean, that segues nicely into our next topic. We were talking about revenge tours earlier, but yeah.
Yeah. I
Maul,
think
yeah.
for me, because I've talked about it before, but I would love to see like an Abeloth horror movie, but because we're moving away from the Skywalker stuff and I need to stay away from that, I won't play around with the Abeloth stuff anymore. Just adapting that book. What I would probably go in the direction of is again, you already know I'm gonna say a horror movie, but based around Darth Nihilus, since he's a little like Force Spectre ghost type of situation. And I would love to have Mike Flanagan direct that, seeing as though he kind of just does well with that kind of stuff when it comes to specters and ghosts and whatnot. It could be kind of, I think, similar to Vader in regards to him like slaughtering Jedi, but because he's a literal Force spirit and not a corporeal, like a physical being, you can have a lot of fun with that as well. And because he's like sucking the Force, like he's literally like a fucking think like a not Death Eater. What are they fucking called? Like a Dementor from Star Wars, but he's really more conscious and cognizant of what he's doing.
Yeah.
It'd be dope.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because obviously Mike Flanagan's known for putting more like kind of a heart or what have you into a story as far as movies or stories, kind of about the characters and that type of stuff. So
there's a lot of depth you could add there too. Because again, I'm immediately looking at like how he was writing for the Fall of the House of Usher.
That was
in the movie.
Favorite. All three of us actually enjoyed that show. So.
Yeah. It's either between that or I really loved Oculus. I really liked Oculus like a lot. But
from back in the day with your boy Robin and that movie has Robin and Nebula.
But yeah, that'd be my pick. But that is all we have for Star Wars today, y'all. Updates come about. We finally get because as far as I know now, Filoni hasn't done like an interview or anything. I know we had Kathleen Kennedy did her exit interview, but we haven't done like an interview from Filoni, like asking him what the plan is going forward. Hell, he's even been kind of vague when it comes to like asking questions about the Star Wars, like the Ahsoka stuff or other stuff he was already working on beforehand. He's been real like hush on everything, which is probably because he knew he was taking over at some point. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see hopefully some point soon. So we get an update, we'll come back and discuss that stuff. But that is all we have for Star Wars now. But I'm gonna let Ethan direct our last topic for the show, since he knows what direction he wants to go in.
So we talk about this. I teased it a little bit as far as revenge tour. It's not really a revenge tour, but in honor of our girl Maki. I'm gonna have Otis come into this because he knows this stuff really, really well. So some spoilers here for Jujutsu Kaisen season 3. If you haven't watched any of the anime yet, obviously if you're a manga reader, you've been caught up for all kinds of years. But in honor of Maki, this week's episode, she had a massive glow up in a very cool way as far as how she got power up because she was kind of limited in her abilities as far as a heavily restriction because her twin sister, as long as they were both alive, they were both kind of holding each other back. Maki couldn't use her full extent of her heavy restriction, and Mai couldn't use the full extent of her actual curse ability. But once Mai said, I'm going to go ahead and hand over everything, I'm going to go ahead and let myself go to the next world, I'm going to hand over, I'm going to completely get rid of the block, I'm going to take all the curse energy with me, give you all the heavy restriction, you can go full Toji in honor of in honor of my name and destroy it all. And she did. And it was awesome to watch Mappa go crazy as far as having her destroy all of the Zenin clan to the point where there pretty much nothing left. And that's the thing is, it's a glow up for that character as opposed to a Super Saiyan transformation or what have you, which is awesome as well. It's a glow up as far as her fully embracing her or being able to actually have her full extent of her power and ability and seeing what she does with that. It's a transformation as far as seeing her actually no longer need the glasses to see curses, getting more muscular and everything else as well, having the burns on her body. She looks, if you look at Maki season 3 compared to Maki season 1, unrecognizable. And so it's a glow up in a remarkable enough way. It's a glow up as far as how a character is changing, but doesn't look nearly as good in a sense, but it's much more powerful. So I just wanted us to talk about glow ups in general. So what are some of y'all sort of glow ups and why?
Now, are we talking about in anime specifically, or are we talking about ever?
Ever. Why not? Ever. Have fun.
That's actually more difficult.
I guess in a short term, it's just the immediate first thing that came to mind, and I'll think of some other ones after this. But and this is a really short one. But I'm looking at Blade and Blade 2, where he's coming out of the bloodbath, essentially, super amped up off of blood, and he's just like kicking niggas' faces off damn near.
Literally.
Again, I think that kind of goes into that whole aspect of like showcasing a newfound level of strength. And it's something in writing that I also wanted to play, especially after seeing this Maki episode that I'm looking at with Reaper, like when I can implement this as a thing of like a character achieving a new level of strength and how they go about showing that strength. Usually, I think anime usually does it the best in my mind of like showcasing that arrogance. And I think outside of Blood, I think the best example, obviously, is looking at the first Super Saiyan transformation with Goku, right? Where he goes from being on even playing field to struggling with Frieza to now he's at a point to where he's not even trying to kill this nigga. He's trying to embarrass Frieza. Where he's like, I'll give you power so you can get up out of here because you're not beating me now. You're not fucking with me anymore. And it's like, all right, you're going to try to kill me? All right, you're a fool. Now you're dead. How about that? You're done now. So it's that level of arrogance you get there because characters still believe you had a certain level of strength.
And to clarify, Goku did not kill Frieza. He was too scared.
He made the attempt, I guess.
No. He blew him in half and said like, hey, like, you can chill and I'll take you out of here or I'll just have to leave you here. And Frieza was like, fuck you. So he left him. And then the planet exploded.
Before he left, survived. Remember, he tried to get that final blast off, and Goku hit him with the "You fool," and thought he killed him with that last blast.
He did.
Because remember when he was when they told him that Frieza was on the way to Earth, he was fucking surprised and didn't know the nigga was still alive. So he rushed to Earth, and by the time he got there, Trunks had already taken care of shit.
And he also left him on a planet that was exploding. So
it's blowing up. Yeah, well, yeah.
Like,
Frieza surviving was an anomaly.
He on some Maul shit. Cut in half.
Basically, super
on a planet.
Maul didn't survive a planet exploding while being already cut in half.
Because again, Frieza cut himself in half, then got Goku, you fooled him, then he got blown up proper. That's 3 deaths.
Even just him in half. I think he was like cut at like the chest, wasn't he? He was like only like torso up.
I mean, he was already small, so like proportionally, like
he's like
probably had.
Fair enough.
Talking on Frieza.
Fuck him.
But did you come up with one, Otis?
A glow up for me. That's actually kind of difficult. I know Ethan doesn't love this one as much, but I'm gonna go with Richter Belmont unlocking his magic again in Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh no, I still I love the fights. The action was clean and crisp. It was some of the other stuff that was, but 100%.
I thought that scene was gorgeous, like him fighting the vamps on the water and like utilizing all of the high tier. Really thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Because also part of it is Richter has both the abilities of Cypher and the Belmont family, so you get to see that on full display. Also, the animation quality. It was great in Castlevania, but they turned up another notch for the next Castlevania show. So it was beautiful to watch, 100%. Yeah, I watched that fight multiple times.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I honestly need to watch it again at some point soon. The final like sequence in Wanted, where we're seeing Wesley Gibbons kind of like prepare for the assault on the foundation or on the place. Because again, we've seen his journey and his training and all that stuff. So now we're seeing the final product with a chip on the shoulder. And we're seeing him take all the different things he's learned against all his different teachers and his fucking everybody up. It was like the initial fight when he's running through the front door with the after he like fucking because he drove the truck through the front door if I remember correctly, or he blew it up one or two, and he's running through just letting them rounds off and sliding through shit. It was dope. It was dope to see that. I think for me, when I'm looking at a perfect way to showcase a glow up as a character reaching a newfound level of strength, I'm looking at that scene just for the factor of it was in a culmination of everything he learned and every interaction he had was showcasing that skill set that he picked up. So it was literally just like the fucking bow on top of the movie at that point.
I completely agree. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll go to Wesley. That movie came out the same year as Iron Man and The Dark Knight. Crazy year for
that movie. I love that movie so much, man. I love that movie so much.
I don't like that they whitewashed Fox from the comic because she was definitely a black woman there. But
she was based off of Halle Berry.
He did a great job.
I think they initially tried to get Halle for it, but there was some kind of conflicting issue, and then they were like, "Angelina Jolie, bring your ass, come on,
yeah,
Tomb Raider, nigga, bring your
ass." be hard to like. Because I think Haley just got the Oscar, so she was kind of doing other stuff at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they probably compare one of the two.
Another one I'll throw out though is Adam Eve in the fight against Conquest.
That's a glow up. That's a glow up.
Yeah, like her just like, oh, I can like really, really control matter now, and like of course the team up with Mark. I always like two clearly weaker characters going up against like a big bad. You get that in a bunch of different things. I'll even throw Lethal Weapon 4 as one of those.
Hey,
two bigger cops having to fight little Jet Li. And
Jet Li was destroyed. That was fantastic. I love the movie. I love that part.
Really well done scene. Great build up to it. It felt earned. It felt deserved, and it was needed because they were going to die.
It was bad. Like he was getting his arm destroyed. And have you seen Lethal Weapon 4, Charlie?
No Lethal Weapons at all.
And it's an older movie, yeah. But I see what you mean. And it's worth watching. But piggybacking off what Otis said, and I'll let you go, Charlie. I do like, and also what you're saying too, Charlie, as far as having if it's earned, if a character have to do something, they have to go through a massive journey, and you've seen a culmination of all they've been through. So for me, my all-time favorite glow-up is actually Vegito in DBZ during the Buu saga, where they have to actually fuse with the Earths because they have all their bullshit from like 300 episodes, and then finally they had to kind of put Goku and Vegeta put it aside. They fused to become a much bigger, better version overall, and that's Vegito against Buu. The actual fight with Vegito, whatever, but the actual episode of them getting over their shit to fuse together. Mm-hmm. I love that episode. I love that moment. That's a true glow up. Watch them do that.
I wanted to point taking it away from just the physical altercation aspect of it when I'm looking at people using their glow up in regards to their mental checkmate over a lot of different people. And obviously, like somebody I'm looking at primarily is someone like a Tyrion Lannister, right? Granted, you could argue he's had like different moments of that because he was already who he was at the start of the series, but there are different moments to where he kind of found his new purpose and would just like checkmate the fuck out of somebody with his intellect. Or people would doubt him. People would think that he wasn't capable because of his size and stature, but he's legit just like continuing to learn and grow through his brain. And I love seeing when characters can do that when you're out smarting someone else. Or I guess another example of that would be somebody like Lelouch, right? From Code Geass is another character. Granted, he's not underestimated as much, but it's a lot of, although he has his moments where he's like fighting in the mechs or whatever it may be, but a lot of that series is him just checkmating the fuck out of people.
That's the whole basis, yeah, more or less. Which we can't. it's a downer because I would love to have given one to our boy L in obviously in Death Note, but he doesn't. It's the glow up is kind of more light as he defeats him. So it's not quite
his glow up in my mind is like him turning into Kira in my mind.
Basically, embracing Kira for life.
Yeah, like I feel like he kind of diminished over time and not necessarily a glow up because he just got sloppier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got lazy because there was no L. When L was gone, he needed someone to challenge him. There was no one around to challenge him really. So that's the whole point. Is a rise.
Got overzealous, overconfident.
Yeah, that's sloppy. That really sloppy.
But sure. I think again, the concept of a glow up in general is like it's literally like we'll say the dessert for a lot of different readers or consumers in any medium, rather that be a physical thing or a mental thing, because you're literally seeing the payoff. I think it's like the definition of a payoff in my mind of everything leads to this moment, this character doing this. And you really, I think when we're talking about like endings and how we talked about it before, how a lot of the recent anime or bare minimum, a lot of recent manga have had a lot of like negative perception from fans in regards to how they ended, which is tough to do because you have such a long running show, things get convoluted, a lot of storylines, a lot of character things to resolve. But if you can end on something like this where you're ending on a big glow up, liability, a transformation or whatever it may be, when you end on things like that, I think you leave a pretty good taste in a fan's mouth. Pause from.
Woo! That's we gotta clip that. We gotta clip that and put that on. That's gonna go all over the social media.
Leave it a good taste in their mouth from the way things end. Because again, it's a climactic moment. If it's a protagonist, you're seeing that character at their strongest, and if you're smart, you're showing them at their most badass when you're looking at something like a Maki, right? Where it's them just literally just aura farming and studying on motherfuckers the entire time.
That was a half hour of that. They made that episode 4 minutes longer just for it to go.
When I see her like skating on air towards a nigga, I'm like, she ain't even walking at you.
It was on blood, yeah.
On blood, and then you grab this nigga's throw it out. I said, bruh. Again, I want to find out. I want to get an interview of the animators to see why there is such a big reference to Kill Bill in that. Otis, did you feel like you saw a lot of the Kill Bill references in the manga when you read it?
No, I can't really say. Like, I mean, I guess like in hindsight, I can see similarities. But like when I was reading through it, I didn't get that initial vibe, and then going through this, like, oh, this is clearly the Bride versus Crazy 88. Like this,
like straight
up. This is that scene.
Yeah, there's no. It went black and white at the time too. It was no. They weren't trying to be coy. They're like, yeah, this, you know what we're doing.
They legit even had like certain sequences of like the one Crazy 88 member with the bandana and how he like approached her and got murdered. Like it showed like an identical shot, damn near of that. And she just again just being approached the same exact way. And I don't think that was a bad decision. I thought it was a pretty good decision because it fit what the narrative was there.
Fantastic.
And if you know, you know, because I think a lot of people maybe just didn't know because they hadn't watched the movie or didn't remember what it may be.
20 years old. It's literally 20 years old, man.
I mean, they just re-released it.
They did. The whole Bolero deal they did. But,
yeah. Which that could have been intentional on that front as far as that goes, as far as the direct influence and it being a recent thing in people's minds. Sure. But
I would say this too, in a more meta level. I can't obviously speak to it directly. Otis can, and the manga readers. From what I've seen, Otis, do you believe that the ultimate glow up was actually the translation or adaptation of the source material to a anime? As far as going from the manga to the anime, do you think that actually it elevated the manga? The anime elevated the manga.
They for sure elevate from the series. Like they do leave out some minor details, but I mean, it will be so many more exposition dumps into the series.
That's part of what makes the series irritating for me as a whole is the exposition dumps.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, animation, like the art direction, how they choose what and when to expand upon things, like it was epic. Like so, comparing the manga to the anime from Maki, I think that the impact of Mai's death hit a little bit harder in the manga, but the everything else after that, oh my god! Like I was just like, wow, like yeah. And
it's one of those things too. Even with Mai's death, I had to go back and watch in the slow motion because I didn't catch the first time it actually shows the ultrasound of them together in the womb. I know in the manga actually shows pictures of them like in the womb with their umbilical cords tied together. Unless you kind of freeze frame it in the anime, you'll miss that. It's obviously kind of a fun detail. The whole name, the purpose behind the perfect preparation, the name of the episode with all the geese and what that means is obviously deliberate as well. There's a lot of stuff in there, So for them to pretty much put a whole mini arc for the manga into one episode, 4 minutes longer, I was like, this is bonkers. For me, I haven't read the manga, I have not, but it seemed like they elevated it as far as the sound and light and everything else, audio and music. It was an elevation of that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they do the culling game, the rest of it as a whole, because from what I've heard and seen from different creators and whatnot, and some of the Reddits, a lot of the issues, a lot of the weaker parts of JJK is the culling arc in itself, with how convoluted it can get.
I agree to it. Yeah, because the explanations just make your head spin more. The more it tries to explain itself, is like, you know what? Stop.
Like the fact the episode before this one where they're talking to Tengen and he's giving out all these paragraphs of exposition. I'm like, nigga, if I have to pause my show to read this 15 paragraph document of explaining what the rules are about to be for this, it's too many fucking rules. Because I can't, like, I don't know.
It's really what it boils down to is like, we're only letting like a handful of y'all survive. So fight.
Yeah, but also you have to kill, because if you don't kill, we'll kill you. Also, if you get enough points, you can put in new rules as you see fit, and that's kind of the point. And that's what Megami wants to do, is put in the rules to kind of make things as they see fit. So it's kind of, you get the general gist. But from what I understand though too, and Otis can attest to this, it seems like in the actual manga, it was just like chapters of just reading exposition. The anime tried to at least make it digestible and palatable and fun to watch. It wasn't just like, it was you seen the little tables turn. It was a conversation. It was trying to make it as, somewhat pleasant as possible.
That explanation was like almost a full 19-page chapter, just explaining that, and every panel is like full of another paragraph.
I would lose my shit if I had to
If you
write
did
that.
it was like, okay,
I ain't gonna hold you. I was gonna watch the rest of the season, but I was so prepared after that second episode to come over here and be like, yeah, this shit is trash. This shit is overrated as fuck. Because I watched a whole episode of exposition and rules for some shit that haven't happened yet. This is my key episode. Save this shit for me. I ain't gonna hold you. This shit.
Anyway,
they got all that out the way so they can just now now we're about to introduce some characters. We're gonna have some fights and shit is gonna escalate.
Yeah,
because
I feel like now they're like, now they're like, we told you the rules. We can tell you again. Goodbye. Have fun. It's over.
You never see those rules again. They barely apply because they end up changing the rules anyway.
That's the most gangster thing of all time. We're gonna retcon our own rules immediately. That's the point. Yeah,
bruh. I'm just like, my nigga. I don't watch this show for character development. I don't watch this show for any of that. I watch this show for these fucking Mappa fights. Animate my shit and give it to me. Fuck, get these fights going.
Fights. I love it. That's the ultimate world. Mappa fights. Damn, Mappa fights.
At least it's just me. I don't know. Maybe there are other JJK fans that are a little bit more invested in like the arcs for some characters, if you can think of any. I'm just bro.
Marky had a great arc.
Marky she had a cool arc. I'm talking about the show as a whole. I think there's maybe like a handful of characters I can count on that had a definitive like character growth arc.
The arcs yet though, like this is only season 3. Like
only season 3. I haven't seen an arc yet.
12, like the full development of a character from like their start to the like JJK isn't a very long series for one. Like each season is 12 episodes. I mean, or is it 24? I think they're 24.
We on season 3.
Yeah, but I would argue that you are seeing, even in season 2, right, Dev, where you're seeing Yuji like having to struggle as far as losing Nabara and then Nanami and everything, and see him go through all that angst. That's part of an arc there. I would say that dealing with everything that happened between Gojo and then in Geto when they were younger, that's obviously character development too. It may not be as extensive or in depth.
What would you say the arc is that they're going on? How are they changing? What way are they growing? Either in a negative or a positive way? So like, I feel like it feels like things are just happening to them, and we're seeing how they react to it in a moment, but they're not changing as characters for the most part.
So Gojo at the beginning of Hidden Inventory to how he is the whole point of that is that he decides he's a much more selfish person, kind of doing his own thing, but then he decides he wants to help the betterment of the young people. That's when he becomes a teacher. Geto obviously was a good guy that became corrupted by the idea of. I mean, so you're seeing there's clearly a whole.
This Geto isn't really Geto though. We were pretty. Well, I don't know how much of a spoiler that is. My bad.
Sweat now?
Oh, is that a massive spoiler?
No. So the thing is, Geto obviously was.
I'm saying it's not.
Geto was Gojo's friend. The beginning of Hidden Inventory. That was.
I'm getting that. But I'm trying to make sure I'm not spoiling too much shit if I like say what I want to say. Where Otis.
Well, they already told who that was.
Everybody that's knows that Geto died. Like we showed that. The beginning of Shibuya incident.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that being the case, I'm like, we know it's not the same person at all.
No, yeah, it's the whole being. They say his name. Tengen says his name, multiple times, and over and over again. Episode 3. Yeah. So, but even before when he died, by the time Geto died in the movie in episodes or JJK 0 movie 0, so that there's an arc there, there's character development there. Megami, what he's going on, the journey he has, the story he has with his father, even Toji. It's a simple thing, but seeing Toji be like a complete degenerate asshole dad, then realizing as he's getting ready to kill his son in the body of the other guy, seeing that that's actually Megami, his actual son, he asks him, "What's your name?" He says, "Fushiguro, not Zenin," and he has a smile on his face and kills himself. It's like, yeah, that's an arc for Toji as far as the idea of my son actually was free of the Zenin. I mean, for me, I'm seeing the actual stories here. I know they may not hit for you, but they are.
I'm not seeing a lot again.
Like Yuji,
go ahead. After
the Shibuya incident versus the one that started the series, like even seeing Yuji from the beginning to like after encountering I can't remember the kid's name And
Yeah,
then
Yuji and Gojo seem like obvious growth to me. Those are the two I can like definitively say, okay, these two characters look like they're drastically different from who they were at the beginning of the series in regards to how they move and how they operate and how they think and believe things. I got to see more of like how it's adapted, maybe because I kind of know like some of the what's going to happen in the future with Megumi for the most part, and maybe it's because I didn't understand what I read in regards to what happened there. So I got to see like how that's adapted, how they explain it for me. And again, a lot of it could just be me not understanding what the fuck I read when I was reading through this this manga as a whole, because a lot of this shit is like a blur in my mind. But I think again, there are moments of obvious character growth for certain characters, but as a whole, when I'm looking at most of these characters, because I feel like this show has a lot of the issues that Naruto had in the sense to where you introduce a lot of dope side characters that are kind of just like not for like when I'm looking at Toto, right? He's introduced, he has this concept that's really dope, but I can't point to like what his development is for the most part.
I mean, he's not really. Toto may not have much development. I would say he does.
And he's
going
to be a major part of the show up until like the very end of like he's going to be a major part at the very end of the show.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay,
I mean,
we're involved in this character.
Toto is always Toto. Like Toto is like Luffy. Like
yeah, Luffy.
Like he's like a bad person to pick there because like literally everyone else is so vastly different. Like I mean. We're gonna see some shit with Panda soon. I mean,
yeah, even Nanami. Let's say Nanami. You can agree that Nanami literally retired or left because he didn't want the job he had of being a jujutsu sorcerer and went into being actual working for like some kind of hedge fund, the money investor, what have you. And he left that because he went to a bakery and saw a woman that had a demon on her shoulder, and he came back. Then when you see him get clapped off by Mahito, that hits because his character did have an arc. He actually did go from being someone that was jaded by the.
I give you that.
I mean, think of it this way too. Dragon Ball Z. How many characters really have an arc in a real arc in Dragon Ball Z?
Many.
Say Trunks in a way. Vegeta maybe.
Piccolo, Vegeta. A lot of the villains for the most part that turned you could point to in regards to that.
But going back to JJ, like Toto, I'll give you. He does not change as a character.
He's not really supposed to.
But like. Who else does it?
Yeah. Even Mekamaru changed.
Mekamaru.
Oh, you said Akamaru. I was like, Akamaru.
No. Mekamaru had a great arc.
Yeah. So I would say they do. I do see characters. I do see characters, and I do see growth with them personally. I mean, it's from me.
Fair enough. I get it. I'm not opposed to being wrong on it. That's just a lot of what I remember. Again, a lot of this too. That I have an issue with, and it's not really an issue of that the show can really control. Well, maybe I don't know, like how spaced out shit is. There's a lot of the issues I had with Attack on Titan, where like because seasons were so spaced out in regards to like time when they come out, I have issue like remembering a lot of motivations and a lot of things with characters. So I'm like, what are we doing? Where are we at? I gotta like I literally with this show I had to go back and like find some because I'm not going to rewatch 3 seasons of this show to remember going up into this. Not 3, but 2 seasons of this entire show to remember where we are now. I'm like, all right, let me find this. There's honestly a whole like niche on YouTube that somebody you can capitalize on right now is like niggas that recap previous seasons of a show leading up into the new season.
I'm subscribed to 2. I'm subscribed to the channel.
I've rewatched the first 2 seasons of Juju so many times. I've reread that manga a few. Just because like
I rewatched episodes with Otis before. So yeah.
Like I can't forget it. It's still burned into my like. So like Juju, Castlevania, Arcane. I'm trying to think what else falls into there. Like they're just like series that I just like. The Haikyuu. No, I haven't watched Haikyuu a bunch. I've rewatched Blue Lock once or twice, but like they're just like a group of series that I just like rewatch. Devil May Cry. I watched a lot of too. Just like
the anime or just.
The newer one.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
On Netflix. I know you watch Bleach all the time on repeat.
Yeah, I've rewatched Bleach several times over. Like, I draw in those because like that's the type of tone of things that I like to create myself. Mm-hmm. So like, I watch those like super hyper fixated to just pick up on every little element that I can that I can like infuse into other things that I enjoy. So, like. Yeah, like I can't really say that on that perspective, but Yeah, like if you only watch through them once, and like you got to wait like 2 years between each season.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot. That's a big ass.
A lot of what it is for me is because I also watch a shit ton of movies and watch a shit ton of cartoons. There's not too many anime. Like I rewatch Full Metal, obviously. I'll rewatch some of the smaller stuff like Blue Lagoon, like a lot of the shorter anime that I can watch, like or Parasite the Max, and anything that's like one season, concise story, cool. I can knock that out quick. Or I think I've rewatched Blue Exorcist maybe like one time. Because there's so many new anime coming out so fucking often, like, bro, I don't have time to go rewatch that. The new movie that's coming out that I want to watch, and then these animated series that are coming out, and then also read comics. At least that's just me because I'm watching and reading so much shit. I can't go back and rewatch. So,
yeah.
Because it's not even just an anime issue. Because sometimes it happens with actual like live action shit too. I think for me with I ain't gonna lie, I was like that with the second season of House of the Dragon for the most part. I was like, I remember the big moments. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck was that person's character motivation or what was their arc that they were on? Because it's been like 3 years since I've seen this shit, and it's been disconnected or whatever it may be.
and then nothing happened. It didn't matter because nothing happened. Nothing happened. So.
Yeah, but again, that's just me. I'm not opposed to being wrong on some of the development stuff for a lot of the JK characters, but when I'm looking back on a lot of the bigger moments and the bigger character, again, I obviously remember the Gojo one in regards to he was just very super fucking arrogant in that movie, which you could argue he's still like that to an extent. Now I think he's still
he is
character,
arrogant, but he doesn't care.
Which is how he ends up. How he ends up. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna. Everyone more or less knows that. We won't say too much about the spoilers of his ultimate.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that movie though. I guarantee you they're gonna make that.
It's gonna be a movie. There's no way it's not gonna be a movie.
The thing is, so Otis, real quick, I know not to get too much on the tangent here, but Otis, did you see the Chainsaw Man movie?
Chainsaw Man, yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so did you like that at all? I know you were a fan of the show.
I mean, I thought it was well animated. I thought that they did a good job really, digging into Reze as a character and showing like who she is as a person. I think they did a great job of expanding on like what they gave us there. But the movie itself was just kind of dumb. Like I think that like even the part in the manga was also kind of dumb. Like, why are you fighting a bomb and a whirlpool on a shark?
That's the show initial though. It's all the crazy, like it's so beyond an extra and extrovert. So because we talked about it before, like that was the issue I had with the Demon Slayer movie is pacing. That's my number one issue when it comes to anime movies is that they always just feel like a compilation of episodes versus something edited and constructed to be a movie, a feature length thing that's in a theater. When I watched that, it felt like they put this together to be an actual movie or a special because the pacing for it was excellent. At least by the standards of other animes that I've seen. So, because the pacing was cool, I didn't feel like I was like, because I vividly remember being in a theater watching fucking Demon Slayer, watching Infinity Castle, and being like, I think everybody's talked about it. Like when you get to the end and you're like, oh yeah, we're done here. And then that shit for like another 45 minutes, we're just like, I'm like, all right, like, I'm ready to go home. Because now I'm aware of how long this shit is. I think to an extent I had an issue with that with the Batman movie, with the Pattinson movie.
Yeah, the fourth act.
But we got to a point where I'm like, my nigga, the pacing just like stopped right here.
I need to watch Doomsday. Like when that finally drops, Avengers Doomsday in like 2 days. Like when you watch part one day.
That movie, if they don't pace them shits out well, it's going to be miserable to watch those. The 3-hour movie, gang.
I thought it was 4 hours.
Is it 4? There's no way it's going to be 4 hours, gang.
Because the Avengers Endgame was 3 hours. That was a 3-hour film. So
4, you ain't leaving nothing on the cutting room floor. You just throwing everything you shot in that motherfucker.
Yeah,
with 4 hours.
Considering how many people are in the movie, like that's just like 2 minutes per character, basically.
Jesus, they need to break it up, man. Come on, let's break it apart. Don't do that. Don't 4 hours.
We already know. You already know it's gonna be. Well, you already know it's gonna be like a multi-part thing because this is gonna happen. Then we're gonna have Secret Wars right after this. It's gonna be kind of like a part 2 to it.
So let's just make it this. The first part is 2 hours, and New Secret Wars 2 hours. So come on,
it's
because I gotta make up for a lot of this shit.
3 hours and 45 minutes for Doomsday.
You can change it, Otis. You're there. Change it. Do something.
I get it though because this goes into part of the issue that I talked about before. they neglected and backseated so many fucking characters. Now you have to explain on how all these people are going to be involved to whatever extent or where they're going to be at. When you're looking at, well, hell, Wonder Man now, I don't know what the fuck he's going to be doing in that movie because you're just introducing this brand new hero that seemingly going to be strong as shit. You got Riri Williams has to be a part of this to some extent, or I'm going to call bullshit. You got to have fucking all the young Avengers be a part of this in some form or fashion, or I'm going to call bullshit. And I'm already pissed off with the fucking Black Panther shit because you introduced the current Black Panther as the Wakandans in the Fantastic Four. Shit, we just not pushing her as a Black Panther. I understand you bringing in Damson to be the new Black Panther, but we just throwing Shuri out with the bathwater, my nigga. We just.
I get because she was the one that introduced her. She was introduced in the trailer to the thing or Ben Grimm as So I guess
when you see them exit out of that and they show who will come, it says the Wakandans in the Fantastic Four, not the Black Panther. So they're just chucking her in with M'Baku. Like they're treating M'Baku like he is the fucking Black Panther himself at this point, damn near, because he's the king of Wakanda. I'm like, what are we? I understand people don't like Shuri because a lot of the concern I'm seeing around Shuri is like people just want T'Challa back. It's not even they don't like her; they just want T'Challa back.
Fault. It's not her fault.
But I'm like, we have time. Like, at least try to get her through an arc first. Like, she had her one movie, but we haven't given her time to see where she goes. Because right now she's like, she went from being really fucking angry to where, all right, I'm content now, and that's it. We haven't seen her grow at all as a character yet, for the most part. But now it feels like we're just gonna backseat the fuck out of her and bring in Damson. Now we got to develop Damson as the Black Panther now because you got to establish that shit.
Well, and again, like, here's the thing: we see T'Challa's son at the end of Black Panther 2 or Wakanda Forever. He's 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old.
Like 5.
He's born right before the blip.
He ain't even that. He's like 7 maybe. He's got to be like 7.
Maybe. He's born right before the blip, like during the blip, what have you, before that. So it's kind of like Damson. I mean, no offense, he's a grown ass man. I don't know how that explains.
It's gonna be a multiverse thing. It's gonna be a multiverse thing. It's gonna be a multiverse thing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a different Damson or different Black Panther from a different universe. If they're doing this, if they're going to do Secret Wars similar to how they did it with the Hickman run or whatever it may be, it's going to be like different planets colliding together. So we're going to see different versions of it. Because we already know they're going to be in a different dimension because we have the Fantastic Four coming over. So we're already going to introduce the concept of that, and we know that this Doctor Doom is going to be a variant of Tony Stark. So I understand how they're going to do it. It's just a matter of like, you're going to have to introduce this character and make him an integral role. Because they're not just doing it with him, they're doing it with fucking Sam and fucking Cap too. Because you had this nigga as Captain America and didn't really do shit with them for a show, for 2 shows in a movie, damn near.
Right. Wait, real quick though. Again, I'm basing this purely off of the trailers. When they're showing Sam, I'm sorry. When they're showing Steve for Cap, that looks like more or less our universe Cap because he's back. It looks like he's back.
Same universe. He's just back in time. Remember, he stayed back in time.
So they're not doing a different dimension with him. It's just using time or whatever.
Remember, we saw him at the end of Endgame as an old man. He's still alive. Like he's in this universe. He just stayed back in time.
I mean, we've also seen James Marsden, and like that's confirmed that's in a different universe than 616.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just like.
All the X-Men. All the X-Men are coming back too, at least for cameos of some kind.
They're bringing back all the legacy niggas, all the X-Men.
Die off. It's
of course they're They're with the Sentinels.
I will say that if they bring everybody back to kill them off in the beginning, I'm cool with it. Like, you bring back Chris, you bring in Thor, and you just finally kill these niggas off so they can be gone, and you set stakes like that. I'm cool with that. Because that means you're taking time to build up your new. Because you've been bringing in all these different characters from Miss Marvel to Photon to Shang-Chi, and you're introducing all these new characters who are all like strong to a significant extent, and it's not. I think the one time we saw Shang-Chi in between his first movie till now was the Madness was the fucking zombies. Yeah. And that was what, like almost a decade apart, damn near. The Eternals haven't been seen at all since that fucking movie, but we're seeing Tiamat. I'm just, again, you need to get rid, or at bare minimum, like correctly write out the old regime and start working on building up these new people. Because nobody's ever going to like them if you don't spend time with them or build them the fuck up. People are only going to be attached to what they've had. You had a decade at this point with Thor, with Hulk, with all these niggas. Granted, they still got to fix Hulk. Don't get rid of that nigga yet. You haven't done shit with that nigga at all yet, damn near.
I mean, brand new day. That's the main.
Yeah, hopefully that fixes that shit. But even then, I'd be cool if they introduced one of the new, like again, maybe not double down on She-Hulk because niggas are gonna hate that. But if we do like, I know I've heard things about Amadeus Cho possibly making an appearance at some point soon because we've seen him in the
These were new Avengers though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you want to like focus on the Young Avengers, quote unquote, because they've already introduced most of them between Kate Bishop, Riri, Ms. Marvel. We've seen Patriot. He just hasn't powered up yet, being Isaiah Bradley's grandson.
Oh, yeah, he was been around as nephew. That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Ant-Man's daughter. So that's like 5 off top right there.
Oh, right.
Then we already know that we're going to get X-23 coming out at some point because Daphne King's going to, like, we already know they're bringing Deadpool and Wolverine over. So
she's like a full grown. She's like, oh yeah,
she'll more than like her, yeah. So she'll be either if not a part of that team directly, she'll be somewhere around. So you literally have like 6 to like maybe damn near 10 people, young heroes you can make a team out of, and then we have the Thunderbolts, the new. You have too many fucking people, and then you're still trying to bring the old guard back. We gotta start getting rid of some people at some point.
They also introduced Scar.
Yeah, they got that nigga in random as fuck at the end of She-Hulk. What the fuck?
Right,
about that shit. Because that nigga had all like
he stands there. It's like, hi, I'm Scar. So yeah, what? But yeah, we could be here all night.
That shit. That shit.
All this again.
This whole playing a whole just don't care. They don't matter. It don't matter. I guess. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm doing the show over here.
I just want to say real quick. I agree with you, Dev. Yeah, it'd be dope as hell if they pretty much had to build up to properly have our boy Aura have Doom come in there and kind of, piece up a lot of these heroes to kill them off. Yeah, that'd be dope. That's what it's
just set some stakes. You did it with Infinity War, damn near with like blipping some people out, but let's make it permanent this time. Let's get niggas up out of here. Let's get them out. Let's get them gone.
I agree.
He just want to see Cap die.
You want to know how I want to see die more than anything else in the world, nigga. That fuck ass nigga Cyclops. Get that. I need to see James.
Why you hate on Cyclops? He hasn't been around in any movies. He got capped in his last movie in episode 3.
I need to see that nigga get gone in the worst possible way. Rip an eyeball out. Do something. Remember they did at the end of near the end of Ultimate Alliance where he fucking just like grabbed the beam and threw that shit back into his face. Do that shit. Fuck that nigga up. Fuck him up. Get him out of here. I need to see I need Cyclops to be gone within 15 minutes of this movie opening. The X-Men need to be gone. Get that nigga out of here.
Bro, man, hate on Cyclops more in my life. I've been alive for years.
Why?
You didn't like him beam skating in 97?
I didn't like him abandoning his child. I don't like this nigga pretty much being the biggest hypocrite ever. I don't like this nigga cheating on his girl multiple times. Jesus Christ. This nigga has legit left his current wife and child for Jean to then cheat on her multiple times later on in the comics. I'm like, left his child and then just like threw a shot at him.
To be fair, Jean not the best either.
Jean is a mess. What do you ask?
I ain't copping a plea for her. I ain't copping a plea for Logan either. All them niggas is assholes.
You're all mess. A bad mess.
Hey, the only leaders of the X-Men I acknowledge are Storm and fucking Rogue at this point, my nigga. Those are the only ones I acknowledge. They keep things peaceful.
Rogue?
Yes, she's one of the only leaders that actually keeps the niggas in peaceful times and makes sure people don't get murdered, or she doesn't form secret clandestine groups to go do the dirty work after criticizing Xavier for the same shit.
This dude.
Like the triangle though?
You say what?
The triangle.
What are you talking about?
The Rogue?
For the love triangle?
Yeah.
A lot of that shit ain't her fault though.
This guy.
She was literally groomed, nigga, as a child.
That's your boy.
She went back.
Yeah, that's how abuse works. Nigga, like that's how sexual trauma works.
You gonna blame? We got
it as a child. But anyway, my bad. That's the whole thing.
We got it.
But shit, y'all. Again, the kind of, I guess, give shout outs to things that we have going on. What do you guys have coming up in the future? You want everybody to check out going forward?
Sure. I'll say real quick, give a massive shout out to our company, Echelon Graphic Novels. My partners and I, we are very, very proud of it. We have a lot of things going on. We have lots of books coming up and out. Otis has his series coming up, which I'm very proud of, which is one, of course, is Briarlands 1 and 2, and then he has another series coming out later on, which we release the details for that later. I'm very proud of Charlie for his books. Reaper number 1 and number 2 is coming out later. Also has a massive, look at that fit. My God, it's clean. Also has a massive, awesome Kickstarter campaign, which has gone live. We'll put the details down below for you to come see that. And also hit us up as far as just going to our site, Echelon G Novels at echelongnovels.com. Come see us. We are always looking for new talented artists to join our team. Also, we love making books for people. If you have a story but have no idea how to tell it, come see us. We'll find a way to do it. Also, massive shout out to our brand new interns who joined us. Yari and Bo, you know who you are. We're so proud of you guys. We're happy to have you on the team. We love you. So yeah, we're doing all kinds of big things. We're very, very proud of ourselves for it.
Otis, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, no major developments that we're putting out just yet. Just, I mean, continue to look for updates on blurred.com. If you were a gamer that is, pissed off about how the game space has been treating us for the last decade or so, and wants to actually try to go beyond complaining and turn those feelings into actual action, come talk to us at the Players Alliance. And if you're in Buffalo, look out for some cool events coming to the city. Via Hidden Village, via a few other entities, but we're gonna have some good time this year.
Yeah, for me, it's really just because most of everything else I'm involved in, these two have already brought up. But I guess for me, the YouTube channel, obviously. Outside of new videos, you're going to see a lot more commentary stuff. I'm going to be discussing a lot more of what's going on in current nerd and comic topics because it seems like that's what y'all like to see and like to hear me talk about. Because I do a video on Temporal by Stephanie Williams, no love. I rant about DC and Marvel, 10K a piece within 2 days and like 600 subs. So it is what it is. I gotta make what works, I guess. As far as other content things with regards to the channel, every Tuesday, 8 p.m., you guys can see the Captain's Lounge. Myself and my friend Jordan will be there to discuss more pop topics in gaming. I think this upcoming Tuesday, we're going to be bringing up and discussing a lot of this stuff with Kingsman 265 and the whole Marvel Rivals issue that's been popularized recently and kind of discussing that as well as some other stuff. And then on Sundays, around the same time, you guys can expect to see me and Dr. K night on our stream, the Pull is Therapy, where we'll be just talking everything comics from that week, kind of discussing what we got out of our pull box and what we're hoping to read and what we're enjoying reading at that moment in time. So that is we've got a full content load for the channel, and then obviously all the other comic-oriented things that Ethan brought up in regards to Reaper and the Echelon as a whole.
What we need to do too, if y'all get a chance, go ahead and watch the Diesel, watch Captain Diesel with Charlie's boy, who looks literally exactly like Dwayne Martin. If y'all have ever seen Above the Rim or Otis, you've seen Above the Rim before, right?
Yeah, I've seen Above the Rim.
Okay, this dude, I was like, that guy is. I mean, we need to put a picture of him and Dwayne Martin and see if you can tell the difference. Actually, tell the difference.
It's got to be racist because I've legit heard people tell it. Everybody that's seen this, man, it's been Michael B. Jordan, it's been Dwayne Martin, it's been insert light skinned nigga here. It looks like
Michael B. Jordan, not light skinned, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. But again, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Internet Podcast. Please follow us on all those respective platforms. You'll find in the description below all the platforms that we are currently on as well. And just be on the lookout for, new episodes every week. We record these on Fridays, and then I drop the next episode, full thing the next day, and then chop these things up throughout the week. So I'm behind on last week's episode and getting that chopped up. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, it means you liked the video. So do us a favor and like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're notified about everything we drop, and not just for YouTube deems is worthy to show you. So again, this has been Captain Diesel, Professor E, King of the Comics, Ethan Murphy, the Big Black Muffin, my guy, Lelouch Fee. And remember, y'all, forever and always.
You're listening to the Then and Now podcast.
And we will see you guys next time. Peace, y'all.
Yeah, also, Momoa should have always been Lobo. I don't know why we did Aquaman. That's the dumbest. Yes, 100%. Yeah.